Welcome back, folks. Worked out some of our issues with the software, and we're back. And this is 3 at 3, which of course means that I'm about to present you with what we have found for unusual option activity, as well as some of the sentiment indicators, which we glean from the fire hose, which is all of Twitter, as well as all of Reddit. And we're about to present both unusual option activity and sentiment right now on the 10th of September. So let's get started. First of all, we have to sort of tip our hat because tomorrow is 9/11. I will be flying tomorrow on the way out to Vegas, where I'll be doing a couple presentations. But that's not nearly as important as what you see on the screen there, which is those lights which were set up to honor the first responders, the lives that were lost, the survivors, all of that for 9/11/2001. And we all, those of us who have been down, not just to ground zero, but to all those surrounding areas, know how important it is to remember about those people, the sacrifices that were made by those first responders, and including the troops that were then deployed over in Afghanistan. So let's get started with today's 3 at 3. First one, Matterport. Now this one, my buddy Josh Brown has talked about a lot. He talked about it when it was another company, and then it became this company, and he liked it both times. It has not outperformed since he has been in it, but it started to. So he had mentioned it a couple times on halftime, and that's not to say that, oh, Josh is a dummy. That's not to say that at all. Josh did some nice homework on this one. When he mentioned it on the show, it popped to like 18 and then fell all the way back down to 14. Mentioned it again and it fell all the way back down. I think this time it's different. I mentioned it as my final trade, in fact, yesterday, with Josh on the program. And that's because of this trade, which was the stock at $17.17. They bought 12,000 of the September 20 calls. I bought the 1750 calls. Well, then take a look at today, where we see another Matterport hit and 1939. So the stock was more than $2 higher than when we saw it yesterday. So 8,800 more of the September 20 calls changed hands. Here's a look at the chart there. And as you see, from the 8th, when it was, basically, I mean, you can see how it has, traded up and down and up and down. Around the 8th, it was trading 15.5. Then yesterday we cited it, and I, as I said, used it for my final trade on the halftime report. And then there you see today it trading all the way up to 1976, almost to that $20 level. And look at the turnover, that volume, which is the lower right side of the screen for you. That's showing 7.5 million shares versus 4.2 million average turnover. Now, I think they do have challenges at Matterport. I think it's great technology, but I wonder how many people really want to walk around their home or their office doing videos and so forth. We can all certainly agree that realtors and so forth, yeah, that's really important to them. But Matterport isn't just for realtors. And in fact, it's about mapping interior spaces all over the world. So a lot of those spaces are somewhat private, is my concern. Nonetheless, I am in the trade. I took nice profit, over 100% on the trade from yesterday to today, and I'm back in, but I'm still not in the 20 calls. Just letting you know. All right, second, wait a second. That is our Capital Crypto, our Capital Partners Crypto, which is Rebellion Capital Partners Crypto LLC. This is our new hedge fund, which is launching this month of September. As you see, it's $250,000 minimum. This is not an advertisement. I'm just letting you guys know that we are out there. And that's one of the reasons I will be in Vegas, and then that I will be hosting a panel on the big stage at SALT, Anthony Scaramucci's event, with like 2,300 hedge funds and large family offices showing up in New York next week. I will be there with a team of our guys from Market Rebellion and some from Rebellion Capital Partners Crypto. So we've been trading for 40 years. Now we're putting it into a hedge fund with the same sort of derivative strategies and so forth that we've been able to use for the last 40 years in assets like stocks, options, and futures. So with that said, GSK is our next one. GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. We all know they had issues because they were one of the companies that thought that they had a great solution for the COVID-19 virus. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out so well for them. But after some negative press that followed those failures, they are back, and they have several times for us paid off big when people have bought calls in there. Right now, they're buying 10,200 of the September 40 calls with the stock literally at that level. So I bought the 40 calls. Normally, I would buy something just below the strike and look to sell the 40s. In this case, I'm in the at the money call. Here's a chart, shows you how, as you see from the 26th of August, look at that, far left side of that screen, it was below 39, traded all the way up to about 43 in the middle of August, and then has bled off to just above that 39 level again. So turnover today, 2 million shares, not heavy. Market cap, $91 billion. Been up over 40 today. We're going to see whether or not we can get her back up there. I am in the trade in GSK. Next trade, CCJ. This is Camco. It's a uranium play. And we talked about it. I think I had this one maybe 2 days ago on Halftime Report, because I think I was on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So on Wednesday, I believe I used this and highlighted it for my unusual activity on Halftime Report. Stock was 22 bucks. Now, look at where the stock is, up almost $3. 2473 was where it was when 30,000 October 30 calls went off. Now, again, broken record here, folks, but for those of you who are new, I don't buy way out of the money calls. I call $5 or more out of the money a little rich. I want to buy something closer to the money. So that's what I do. I buy an at the money call one time. I sell an out of the money call one time. I have no upside exposure when I do that because for every one that I've sold, I've purchased one, right? Now, as far as downside, it also cuts into the cost of ownership because, I'm short options as well as long options. As long as I maintain that 1-to-1 ratio, I don't have any problems with the trade. So I've addressed theta, which is time decay. I've addressed vega, which is volatility. And directionally, if I'm not right away, I have mitigated some of the loss that would occur otherwise to a little bit of a dip because, again, I'm short upside calls against my at the money calls. This is what that looks like. Stock has moved up to 2470. So there it was 2473. It's at 2470. So literally these two trades are at the highs of the day and the 52-week high, which was set today at 2508. Look at that turnover, folks. 17.2 million share turnover versus average for the last 10 days of about 9.5 million shares, nearly double. And we're not done with the day yet. Bang. If you missed our webinar yesterday, first of all, shame on you. It was free. But if you missed it, you're busy people. I get it. We have now posted it. If you go to marketrebellion.com/replay, you can see the webinar that our chief option strategist, Ryan Mastro, and I did yesterday. It's approximately an hour long. It will have fabulous information, shows you how we trade unusual option activity, and there's a special offer in there as well if you'd like to join us. So please, at your leisure, over the weekend, perhaps, take a look, marketrebellion.com/replay, and then you will get exactly what we delivered yesterday to tens of thousands of interested investors. And we really appreciate all of you who joined us yesterday. Thank you. Questions? Send them in on Twitter, Jon Najarian. It's at JON, no H, NAJARIAN. Penn, Ben's Gub, and his handle is at BENZGUB. John, what about UOA on Penn? Yes, Ben, we have unusual activity on Penn. I am in Penn as well. You may have seen it on my disclosures, either on our site, Market Rebellion, or CNBC. So yes, unusual option activity. This is the best time. I mean, Ben's hitting on a great thing, and I'll kind of tease that next week, folks, on Friday, I'm going to have Prop Swap, which is a site, as it sounds, that will let you make wagers on football games, but also swap your prop bets. We're going to have them on talking about college and pro football on the show next Friday. So won't be long. It won't be, a full 15-minute, but part of the 15 or 20-minute presentation that I do every day on 3 at 3 on Fridays, leading into the weekend, we're going to give you Pete's and my top picks, as well as some great information from Prop Swap. So make sure you check that out. SNG, which is at FX Bulls Academy. Jon Najarian, seems like most of the unusual picks have already moved to the upside. Grabbing them now would be almost a guarantee at a loss. Not really. How about CCJ? How about Matterport? Just to point out a couple. But anyway, what are your thoughts? There, you just heard them. What do you recommend them when looking at the current price movement? Well, and I'm not saying that this particular, we appreciate all of you that write questions or statements to us. So I'm certainly not going to give FX Bulls Academy a hard time. I am going to say that sometimes when we talk about a stock, the what are they, HFTs and so forth, will pull back their offers and the stock will pop. It will lift. And it just depends on how fast your connection is, how much profit you can get, or how much you buy at the top of that peak. So what I would say is, in particular, if you're an option trader, which is what I am, I do trade some stock, but I am primarily an option trader, derivatives. What I would say is the price and the level that I cited at when I say, hey, the stock was 2070, the stock was $22 or whatever when we saw this. You don't have to buy it on the pop that's going to occur when I mention that on TV. That pop will occur nearly 100% of the time. And it will because, again, many of those firms that I just mentioned, HFTs and so forth, will have algorithms that as soon as those words come out of my mouth, bang, there goes the offer. And then it'll pull right back because if a stock pops 60 cents or a buck, somebody's taking profits. Now the regular HFT comes back in and whoop, 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 whoop. So doesn't mean we go all the way back down to where it was, but I think a little bit of patience and you can get into a better trade. I also think doing the one-to-one spreads that I do will also help you to be in a better position. So that's what I would offer to Mr. FX Bulls Academy. And thank you for the question. Finally, there I am in front of our ship out in the other room here in the studio. Alan Greenspan himself says, are you kidding me? 188,000 views for tonight's webinar? No, we were not kidding you. And that was just one of the many videos we did to bring many of you into that webinar last night. We appreciate it, as I've already said. Thank you. Overall, for the video that I did with Jared here in the office, we had over 370,000 views of that video. You can imagine an awful lot of you went to that webinar and signed up already. If you didn't, then go to marketrebellion.com/replay and you can see it. But there's a special offer embedded in that video. So make sure that you watch the video, listen to what Chris Solis, our head of marketing and sales, says, and then Ryan Mastro and I lay out the case for unusual option activity. And in closing, let me say that marketrebellion.com/get started is a great place to get started. If you are a beginner, never traded options before, we have courses for you. If you're an intermediate, you've done some trading, a little bit of spreading, you want to learn more, it's a great place to go, marketrebellion.com/get started. You're more than an intermediate, you're becoming an advanced trader, but you know you're lacking some things and you really want a coach. Well, we have coaches, we have mentors. So whatever you want, subscriptions, coaches, mentors, education, we have it all for stock, options, futures, crypto at Market Rebellion. You'll be hearing even more about it as the new stuff comes out, folks. Make sure you check it out, marketrebellion.com/get started. Well, I'm going to get started on the weekend. I hope you are too. Have a great one, folks. I got to get ready for our cocktail party with our subscribers because every Friday we do a cocktail party with our subscribers, and you got to be a subscriber to join, but a subscriber to any level of our services, and you can join. I'm going to get ready for that. I hope you're getting ready for the weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.